My sense is that many people have the wrong idea about those who lead and the personality it takes to be a leader. So I just wanted to share my perspective. This is for all the introverted leaders out there like me. Because it's really easy to look up and read the definition of a leader, which often says something about leading or commanding a group of people. And you can get a clear picture of who that person is. They're probably extroverted, probably the center of a group. They're clear, decisive, they're commanding. There are enough examples of this classic leader that you can probably just close your eyes and picture who those definitions are talking about. And those examples of leaders aren't wrong, they're just too narrow. Because those classic examples often don't leave a lot of space for the incredible leaders who did it differently. Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Einstein. I mean, the list is long and the proof is overwhelming. We just need to do a better job of opening our eyes and our conditioning and our understanding to those who had a totally different style and personality and skill set. For myself, I don't see myself as a commanding leader. In fact, the more I get to know myself, the more I realize that I can play that part on a team. But it's really not me. So my hope with this video is that for those who are actually really great leaders, or those who feel like they could be, but you don't feel like you're there yet, that you feel encouraged to pursue an opportunity or an approach to teamwork and leadership that works for you without the need to conform. And I don't pretend to be an expert or have all the answers on this. I study work and leadership in teams, not introverts and charisma. But my experience is that many people feel so much pressure to show up a certain way. We've been groomed to notice certain abilities. Confidence is often promoted over competence. And how obviously flawed that is clear. But the system perpetuates because it all starts to normalize. That's why tall people earn more, or deeper voices earn more. It's wrong. But it's still happening. So how do we open up this conversation? I've got some thoughts. When I think about my own story, many people are surprised by how I see myself because as a leader, I don't have trouble being on stage. I can talk in meetings. I can hold my own. No one would feel I shrink away in a work setting, but I feel far from your textbook definition of a leader. I have no interest to lead teams just to lead teams. I often end up leading because one of my greatest joys is people coming together to say yes, to making something incredible happen. And it's for exactly that reason that I actually don't need to lead the team. I'm just as happy to follow someone else's lead. And that's the point. For me, it's about the team. It's not about me. And I think many fantastic leaders feel the exact same way. This is why great team leadership falls into three categories. And I call these leaders ones, twos, and threes. Ones are those who lead from the front. And then twos are those who probably stand quite close to the front and they steer, and they're the partner that so many ones actually need. And then there are the threes, those who don't let anyone fall behind. And these are the people that are imperative for widespread cultural change. And all three of these versions of leadership have proven to be really effective. The driving style of ones, the navigating style of twos, and the service style of threes. It's what makes team leadership so great. You don't need one version anymore. Whoever you are, wherever you are, can be an effective place to lead from. Rosa Parks was described as being timid and shy, but with the courage of a lion. She didn't need to lead from the front seat. She just needed an equal seat. Or take one of my favorite lines of all time, Gandhi saying, "In a gentle way, you can shake the world." Time and time again, some of the world's most extraordinary change comes from leaders who weren't seen as leaders for a long time. Mother Teresa is a great example. She didn't need to lead from the front. For someone like her, that's the furthest thing from the point. There's another great Gandhi quote. "I suppose leadership at one time meant muscles, but today it means getting along with people." So if you know, or you think that leading a team is for you, just not in the way that it's typically defined, embrace it. I'd say it is for you. It's time to start believing it. But here's the twist, because what this video is not is a free pass from developing your ability or pushing yourself or learning how to communicate. Leadership, regardless of how you do it, still requires attention and skills and abilities to communicate and connect. You see, there's just no way to lead a team from the front or the middle or the back without communication and connection. As Oprah puts it, great communication begins with connection. Ever since leaders had to stop using strength and power to move people along, the way forward has forever been changed. If people have a choice, Leadership changes. Now people need to come along because they choose to. That's why Nitin Noria, the former dean of Harvard Business School, says communication is the real leadership. And the reason why I think this is important is because if the key to leadership is communication, then what's holding you back? It's not a title, nor is it a prototype, because we all know leaders who break the mold. So if you're seeing yourself as a team leader, it's worth asking the question, title or not, what's actually getting in your way? And for those who do have the title of leaders but are not feeling effective, it's the same question. Now, this is not to say that everyone should show up tomorrow and drive to be the leader of whatever group or team they belong to. There are different moments in life when that makes sense for where you are and what you're aiming at. It's just to say that you hold the key, and leadership can work from the front or the middle or the back. I also have my challenges in this space. I can be my own worst enemy. And what's worse, I don't give myself a lot of forgiveness. I study leadership and work in teams, so internally, it doesn't feel like I've got much of an excuse. But head games aside, I keep working on this stuff. And when I make a mistake, or I don't put myself out there to even risk making a mistake, I need my reminders too. And what's helpful in this effort is to be real with myself and to own up to my own areas for growth. And science leaders can start to feel like despite all their best efforts, one or two people on the team are just not ready to come on board. And the reality is that we're all on our own journey of growth. And just like you've got things to work on, others do too. My hope with this video was to be the opposite of a lecture. Instead, just this open letter to team leaders. Those who have that role now and those who don't yet have it. Those who have the title and feel like they've lost the followers, and those who feel like they've never had the title but had the followers all along. There's just not one personality to make it all happen. So when you go into work tomorrow, what if you were to view your situation differently? Believe that leadership is a state of mind. And if you're enjoying these videos, I'd love to have you join up for these conversations on work, life, and working in teams. The subscribe button is right there. And if you also feel like others are interested in this message, feel free to share. And as always, I thank you for your time.